Oceans provide over 90% of the planet's biologically useful habitat. Much about the marine environment is still unknown, but we do know that marine environments are important and complex and need to be conserved. Protected areas are an important tool for conserving these environments. Marine areas have many special features that protected area frameworks need to take into account. Marine environments are inherently three-dimensional. Marine living organisms can move easily up and down as well as side to side. Some marine areas are thousands of meters deep. These deep water areas are difficult to access, study, and protect. Much marine life can migrate for great distances. Turtles, whales, sharks, tuna, and other marine species travel thousands of miles, traversing entire oceans and crossing between continents. Large areas of the ocean exist beyond national jurisdiction. These areas, the high seas and the deep seabed, are outside of the control of any single country. Within national jurisdiction, marine areas may fall under the jurisdiction of national, state, or provincial governments and be subject to customary resource use rights or traditional marine tenure. Marine processes are highly connected, dynamic, and complex. They transport nutrients, food, seeds, larvae, and organisms across vast ocean and land-ocean areas and between areas of national jurisdiction and the high seas without regard to political boundaries. Marine ecosystems also face special threats. Unsustainable fishing threatens commercial fish stocks with collapse. Endangered species can also be caught or destroyed through harmful fishing practices. Marine and coastal habitats are among the most vulnerable in the world. Destruction of coastal areas, particularly by uncontrolled development, negatively affects many marine species that use them as breeding grounds or nurseries. Pollution, particularly from land-based sources, threatens marine species and their habitats. Climate change creates additional threats to already degraded ecosystems and resources. Climate change contributes to warming sea temperatures, ocean acidification, changes in salinity, and changes in ocean currents and other processes. These changes cause habitat degradation, coral reef decline, and shifting ranges of marine species. Marine ecosystems' special features and threats create special challenges for management of marine protected areas. Marine protected areas need supportive national legal frameworks that can address these challenges. Different legislative options are available. Marine protected areas can be addressed in General Protected Areas legislation, which also covers terrestrial protected areas. This option reinforces linkages between marine, coastal, and inland protected areas. Marine protected areas can be provided for under umbrella marine legislation. This option promotes use of a combination of legal tools for protecting marine biodiversity. Specific legislation can address different types of marine protected areas. For example, different legislation can provide for marine protected areas near the coast and for areas located farther offshore. This option can facilitate establishment of marine protected areas within different sectoral and jurisdictional contexts. A marine protected area or group of marine protected areas may require its own distinct legislation. This option may be preferable where there are large or distinctive marine areas needing protection, or complex jurisdictional and regulatory issues. The choice of legislative option should be guided by the nature of the sites to be protected, the strategy and objectives for declaring future sites in the Marine Protected Area Network, current legal and institutional frameworks, and long-term conservation needs and objectives. Often a combination of approaches is appropriate. Whatever option is chosen, the approach should be linked to the overall protected area's legal framework. Prior to developing marine protected area legislation, drafters should consult with protected area managers, interested or affected stakeholders, scientists and technical experts, and government agencies in relevant sectors. Like terrestrial protected areas law, legislation on marine protected areas should include clear definitions and objectives, taking into account international guidance and norms, appropriate institutional provisions that designate and empower relevant authorities and provide mechanisms for coordination and collaboration, requirements and criteria for planning for marine protected areas, including strategic planning for marine protected area networks, procedures for design and establishment of marine protected areas based on the best available science and incorporating international criteria, mechanisms for participation of concerned stakeholders including local communities dependent on fisheries or tourism for their livelihoods, and domestic and foreign fishing operators, mining interests, scientific research vessels, and underwater treasure hunters. Recognition of diverse governance and management approaches, including shared governance and co-management. Promotion of the full range of management categories, from strict reserve to sustainable use. Provision for adaptive management as an essential tool to address changing conditions, including climate change. Promotion of an integrated approach to management that takes connectivity into account. Tools for regulation, compliance and enforcement, and financing, considering the special challenges of marine sites. Marine areas cannot be protected in isolation. They need to be conserved in the context of the broader seascape and linked coastal and inland ecosystems. This is called marine connectivity conservation. Tools for marine connectivity conservation include marine protected area networks that enhance ecological linkages among marine protected areas, ecosystem-based approaches to design and management of marine protected areas, area-based marine management, including marine spatial planning, ocean zoning, and integrated coastal and ocean management, and coastal conservation and development control laws that protect key coastal sites and restrict development that could impact marine biodiversity. In addition, legal frameworks should promote marine connectivity conservation by incorporating requirements for science-based decision-making, ecological criteria for establishing and managing marine protected areas and marine protected area networks, and directions to consider connectivity in planning and managing marine protected areas in the face of climate change. Marine protected areas are an essential tool for conserving marine and coastal biodiversity, but they cannot be effective without appropriate legal frameworks that take into account the special features, threats, and challenges posed by the marine environment.